What's up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another pregame live stream as the Lakers face the San Antonio Spurs at Staples Center, 7:30 Pacific time. This should be an exciting game simply because the Spurs have been struggling, but they do have our number this year. We are 0-2 versus San Antonio, so we're definitely going to have to bring our A game, guys. Also, what else is new? Oh, the rumor mill, man. That thing has been buzzing. If you guys been hearing, the Lakers been all over all kinds of trade and free agent rumors. Once again, we are the center of the sports talk world. And I mean, I wouldn't want to have it any other way. You know, what better way to spend your Saturday morning or any morning, than waking up early in the morning and turning on First Take. And of course, the Lakers are dominating the sports talk channel. So I wouldn't want to have it any other way. However, a lot of the stuff they're talking about, man, it's irrelevant. Look, they're talking about Anthony Davis. Well, they're not really talking about Anthony Davis. Brandon Robinson of Twitter, who has been really talking about Anthony Davis, as well as LeBron's close friend who first reported that LeBron was going to be a Laker a week before it happened. But all these rumors to me are irrelevant. What's relevant to me is that Western Conference chase right now. We're doing extremely well. We're right there in the mix of it all. We're the 5th seed currently. We're ranked 7th overall defensively, and we continue to ascend. Now, the Spurs are on their way. They already beat us twice this season, so we got to make sure that we get them tonight. We really got to get them, especially because they're struggling right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. So we got to for sure make sure that we show up tonight. We know Greg Pop is a great coach, and they've been getting whooped the last couple of games, so they're really going to look to bounce back tonight. Lakers got to be ready for it. Last couple of games, LaMarcus Aldridge killed us. What's different this time around is that we got Tyson Chandler off the bench to give us some depth to help try to contain this guy, as well as, of course, JaVale McGee. So that's good. What's up, everybody? What's up? Y'all ready for tonight? So the key is going to be, guys, limiting turnovers, free throws, same as always. But I want to see the young guys really dig in this game. I want to see Lonzo continue to try to be aggressive on both ends of the floor. That's really key to our defensive improvements, as well as LeBron. He needs to come out and assert himself early on to make sure. Dan, there was a lot of talk of KD today. Yes, I'm going to get to that in a bit. But to me, that's irrelevant simply because people will twist and turn words all day. But I'll get to that right now. As far as the Spurs, we all know, again, they're struggling in the West. So these are the super dangerous games, guys. These are the ones we really got to watch out for. The ones that could really disappoint us. We're on a 3-game winning streak. We want to make sure that, we make it 4 tonight. So, again, all these distractions, all this Kevin Durant talk, all this Kobe Bryant, by the way, said that pretty soon we're going to win a championship and we're going to be laughing at Warriors fans. If you guys saw that, I will get into that as well. Well, matter of fact, I'm going to dive into that right now. Why does Kobe Bryant say this? Well, as you guys all know, Kobe Bryant is very close friends with GM Rob Pelinka, and I'm sure he has an inside scoop on something. So there's been rumors. This goes back to the Anthony Davis to Laker rumors. Supposedly, according to some sources on Twitter and, not any major analysts or nothing like that. Again, you take it with a grain of salt, especially when it's not Wojnarowski reporting. But supposedly, according to Brandon Robinson, the Lakers, Rob Pelinka has been working the phones to try to get a deal for Anthony Davis that could go in as soon as December 15, right? That's according to the rumors. And what would be implied is that we'd gut the young core and we'd get Anthony Davis for LeBron with the hopes of keeping Lonzo and potentially Kuz or Josh Hart and then trading away the other two. So, I mean, it's always realistic. That's something that could always happen. But again, grain of salt, because the Lakers are doing extremely well. LeBron is pleased right now with the way that this team is developing. We should all be. And, it finally seems like we're starting to get on the same page defensively and offensively. We still got a lot of work to do, but I just don't foresee a blockbuster happening this season. Now, if it does happen, I hope it's a good one, because it would hurt so bad to get rid of the young core and gut our whole roster for Anthony Davis, who has been known to be injury prone, and LeBron James is on the older side. So we're going to need some sort of youth. And that's the reason I wouldn't agree to, gutting the whole roster for AD. However, if all it's going to take is Brandon Ingram, draft picks, and KCP, then I'm all for it, even though I love Brandon Ingram. Or, Kuzma and I don't know, a combination. But as long as we don't give up Lonzo, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, and Kuzma, that's way too much. So as far as all those rumors, I'm going to put those to bed until something officially happens, simply because I like the team as it is. And to me, my formula has always been add to the team without subtracting. And yes, that leads us to today's Kevin Durant rumors about how hard it is to play with LeBron James, right? Let's not forget that this guy, Kevin Durant, is the same guy who people call Snake, who went to the locker room after they lost, after they gave up a 3-1 lead, to Golden State, went to the locker room and told his teammates, including Russell Westbrook, we're going to be back stronger than ever next season. So he's been known to say things he doesn't mean. And even though today it looks like, oh, there's no way he's going to join LeBron now after what he said, it could just be a sneak attack from the one they call a Snake. Think about it, right? So if he doesn't want to be a distraction and try to win another championship before he leaves Golden State, wouldn't it make perfect sense for him to try to put rumors to bed with a quote like this? Even though, again, quotes are always misconstrued, right? But bottom line is, Kevin Durant, you can't trust what he says. He's done it before. He told the Thunder that he was going to be back and they were going to be back with a vengeance, turned around and joined the team that beat him. So please, guys, just don't take any of these rumors other than with a grain of salt, and be excited because we have a good team for the first time in years. The Lakers are balling right now. They're 5th in the West. They're a game and a half out of first place, I believe, or 2 games, something like that. And it could be had because we're going to play some weak opponents starting tonight. Again, trap game versus the Spurs. We got to make sure we come out and we win. Game is at 7:30 tonight Pacific time, so tune into that. And we got to make sure we jump on this team early because they are wounded. Their point guard is injured. Yes, they still have DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, but they are 11-13 now, or 10-13? I don't know. So this is a very winnable game, even though we lost the first 2 versus them. Again, we have bigs, a good backup big and Tyson Chandler now. I hope to see Mo Wagner play a little bit more today. Michael Beasley, hopefully he comes to life again tonight. All that is going to be crucial. Lance Stevenson needs to step up because the last couple of games he's been kind of stinking it up. And for the most part of the season, he's been great. So he needs to step it up tonight. We need more bench production. Caldwell Pope as well. And Josh Hart, who's been the last 2 games, he's been back to his normal self. So I hope that he continues. So this should be a good game, but we should still win tonight. And if we do, we're going to be closer in the hunt, man. We're going to be closer in the hunt for that number 1 seed. That's what I'm really looking at. I'm not looking at trades. If they happen, I trust Magic and Rob to make the right deals. But if they don't happen, then I'll be cool because I love this young team and I hope they continue to grow. So that's all I got to say for tonight, guys. I'm heading over to the comment section, see what you guys got to say. And let's hear it. He said, yes, LeBron James and the Temptations are doing good. Oh, Myron Jones. You love LeBron, don't you? But this is a Laker channel, buddy. You're better off taking that LeBron stan stuff to Twitter where it's entertained. It's not going to be entertained. That'll probably be the last comment I read from you, buddy. Easy home game. LeBron James, you welcome, bro. Hey, Dan, we changed from growing the youth to have one of the greatest players. We need to trade for AD. Again, there's no such thing as need to trade. There's such a thing as, yeah, we can trade as long as we don't gut the young core because that would be shooting ourselves on foot. You still need depth for the playoffs, regardless. LeBron and AD, great, scary team, but you're still going to need a bench. You're still going to need role players. So if they gut the whole team, that's tough. I just don't see us truly winning unless we go out and we get Kawhi or KD next season. But either way, guys, we need to worry about the next 10 years, not just the next 3 to 4, right? Which is about LeBron's contract. Dan, just hypothetically, if a trade happens, which 2 young core do you want to keep the most? If a trade happens and it is for Anthony Davis, we're going to need a point guard. So Lonzo, and I would love to keep one of the forwards, Kuzma. Kuzma and Lonzo would be ideal because we know Brandon Ingram is going to have to be included in any package. Of course, Alonzo and Brandon Ingram would be the best 2 that we can keep. But if we can somehow keep Kuzma and Lonzo, we win the trade. Even if you have to give up Josh Hart as much as I love him, or even if you have to give up Brandon, you are getting Anthony Davis. That would mean we would be left with a team of, hypothetically speaking, Lonzo, Kyle Kuzma, LeBron, Anthony Davis, and JaVale. That would be an insane defensive team and offensive team. So I think that would be enough to compete for the title this year and next year when we land another max free agent. As far as what kind of trade packages, I've been hearing KCP is going to be included. I've been hearing Orlando in a 3-team deal. But again, I'm not taking any of these rumor series. But let's just say hypothetically speaking, they were one of these was to happen, then I would prefer keeping Lonzo and Kuzma, or even Lonzo and Josh Hart wouldn't be bad. But giving up Kuzma and Ingram, that's tough. That's That's a package deal you do not want to give up. And if that's what it's going to take to get AD, it's going to be hard to say pass, but I don't know, man. That would be extremely hard. Dan, will it be more satisfying winning a chip with a young core, but maybe 2 years from now, or winning now with a trade but losing the young core? Probably winning with the young core, man, simply because it guarantees a solid future. That's all I'm saying. I think we better just stick with the young core, and no free agents are coming this way. KD made a point. That's not true. KD made no point. He doesn't know what he's talking about. There's plenty of free agents that want to play with LeBron, and I think including himself. I just think he's trying to save face because everybody knows he wants to come over here. Bottom line with KD is you cannot trust what the man says. He's been known to have a snaky, slithery way about him, and whatever he says, guys, he's just grabbing headlines. Matter of fact, the Warriors have been grabbing headlines, haven't they? Steph Curry was hating on Trae Young. Well, not really hating, but he was pretty much saying that he's not another Steph. Klay Thompson on the Cavs, and now we get the KD, LeBron comment. AD is still young and a very special player. I agree. I love AD. However, getting rid of 3 to 4 of your young core pieces for him, I just don't believe is worth it. As ludicrous as that sounds, I truly believe in Brandon. I truly believe in Kuz, Josh Hart, and Lonzo. I think at least 2 of those players will become stars in this league, and maybe more. Who knows? At worst, they'll become very, very good starters that can contribute to a championship team. So either way, it's a win-win for us. Ariza back to the Lakers. Now, that's something I wouldn't mind. However, what is the asking price? If it's something simple, like, I don't know, like Beasley or something like that, then yeah. But if it's something more complicated, if they want a draft pick or something like that, I personally wouldn't do it because Ariza is no longer the same player, even though he's still very good. So we'll see. He said Ingram, KCP, Michael Beasley, and 3 firsts and 2 second-rounders for Anthony Davis. Now, that's something I would definitely pull off because you're only giving up 1 young core piece. But the question is that enough to get the deal done? We got to be realistic about this. If I am the Pelicans, what am I asking for? Looking at the way their team is constructed, right? If I'm the Pelicans, I'd be asking for Brandon Ingram, of course, Kyle Kuzma, and Lonzo Ball, simply because it is Anthony Davis. And I know it sounds ludicrous, but they're going to ask for the whole kitchen, guys. Now, are we going to throw the sink at them, or are we just going to cross our arms and say, you know what, lose them, let them walk for nothing next year? I think that's what we got to do. We got to play hardball, and if they want to get a trade done, they're going to have to play by our rules. The Spurs are old as dirt, Dan. Yeah, but you know what that means? They have a lot of experience. Guys like Rudy Gay can really hurt you. So you got to make sure that you come out and you play. Dan, the rumor trade for AD is Lonzo, Ingram, and KCP for AD. Now, that trade, as good as it sounds, will still cripple us because it would leave us point guardless. Now, all of a sudden, all the responsibilities go back to LeBron for handling the ball. You lose 2 primary ball handlers, and yes, Rondo's still there, but then who's your backup point guard, right? So you don't want to do any trades that cripple you. You want to keep at least one of the 2, Brandon Ingram or Lonzo. You want to have 1 extra ball handler there to relieve LeBron of his duties. That way he can play more off ball and he can reserve some energy and not have to bring the ball up the court every single time. Unless we get out for Peyton or something. But, yeah, I don't know. Also, Dan, I don't think the Pels would care for Zoe. I say Kuz, Ingram, maybe KCP, and a pick. See, now that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to give up Kuzma and Ingram because to me, those are our 2 most high offensive potential players. If you give them both up, crazy. Dan, if we do any trades, we need to wait till the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, unless we make a minor trade, similar to the one that the Jazz did for Kyle Korver, something like that would be ideal for us. But we got to wait and see what Rob and Magic have up their sleeve. Let's see if all these rumors that are going off are just smoke or is there some substance to it, Although I will say this, I can see why the Pelicans would do a trade with us because their trade value for Anthony Davis next year will diminish. And if they don't make the playoffs this year, they're better off trading them off this year and getting the maximum value in return. And the Celtics aren't even eligible to make a trade with them. So we would, by default, be the next, best candidate to make a trade with them. So I can see where it would make sense from the Pelicans standpoint. Now, the Lakers have to tread carefully not to gut the whole roster because then we'll be left crippled. As good as Anthony Davis, LeBron sounds, remember, this ain't 2K. You still need role players for the playoffs. Dan, did you hear Katie's comments about players not wanting to play with LeBron? Again, I think those comments were taken out of context. What Katie really said is that circus around LeBron, as far as the media goes, is a nightmare. And also, being a secondary to LeBron. However, KD is not the primary weapon in Golden State. It's Steph Curry, in my opinion. Yes, to me, Steph Curry eats first, then KD. So either way, he's a backseat guy, unless it's the finals where he has taken over. But other than that, he's been a backseat guy. And bottom line is that team goes as good as Steph Curry goes, right? So he's not the leader. Just look, when Steph Curry gets injured, they start losing a bunch. And yes, part of that has to do with the whole Draymond KD thing, but it also has to do with Steph Curry and his ability to come off the screens and just light people up. So, and play make as well and be a decoy. So, Dan, just like you said, we should wait and let AD walk for nothing next year. Well, again, that depends on what the asking price is from the Pelicans. If the Pelicans are asking just for Brandon Ingram, KCP, and a couple draft picks, that's a trade you have to do 10 times out of 10. Much as I love Brandon Ingram, Anthony Davis is the player we want Brandon Ingram to become as far as superstar is, and he's only 25 still. So that is as safe as a trade as you can pull off. While keeping Josh Hart, Lonzo, and Kuzma, that's a no-brainer. That'd be equal to the steal trade we did from Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown, Javaris Crittenton, and Marc Gasol type deal. You know what I mean? So it depends on what trade is to be had. Now, I really doubt that Brandon Ingram is enough to get the deal done. But if it is, you have to pull it. As much as I freaking love Brandon Ingram. I would hate to trade him. But let's be real. A team of Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, JaVale McGee could pretty much compete for the title this year. And then you can go ahead and add somebody else next year. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So there are trades that can be had. But if it's going to take Lonzo, Kuz, and Brandon Ingram, that's a no for me. Or Josh Hart, substituted for one of those players. I don't know. That's too much. 3 of the young core, too much. 2, maybe, depends on what 2. 1 is ideal for us. 1 young core piece and a bunch of draft picks and role players would be ideal because role players can be replaced. Young core pieces cannot. It takes years to replace them. You need draft picks and you need tanking. We don't want to go through that again. Dan, I would do Lonzo and BI and KCP for AD and Holiday. Yes, but will they trade you Holiday? Holiday's balling out. I would do that trade as well if they include Holiday, but they're not going to trade Holiday. Holiday is a beast, and they have him under contract for a couple more years. So AD is great, but we got to keep Lonzo. I agree. Unless we get another point guard in return, I agree, brother, because he's been a beast, especially defensively. I think he's one of the main reasons that we continue to ascend defensively. But again, that's neither here or there, guys. For all we know, no trade is going to happen, and we're just going to add without subtracting. That's the blueprint I've been telling this team to follow for a long time. And so far, it's working. Now we just gotta, hit a home run this summer. It could be via KD, Kawhi. Nobody's mentioning it, but he could even be a Kyrie type player. You just never know. This free agency is huge, and there's a lot of great free agent players. We're gonna land at least one of them. I'm pretty sure. So we gotta make sure we do that. He said, "I heard a rumor, Zoe for Wall. I don't like that. No, that rumor is false. John Wall is not an impact player. Matter of fact, the Wizards are struggling with him and Beal. So we actually need a different type of point guard. We don't need a point guard to just slash us. We need one that can stretch the floor, play make, and do it all. And I think Lonzo can play make for the most part. Sometimes stretch the floor. He's just lacking some of the slashing ability. But if he could get that set, perfect. Dan, are you surprised the Spurs record is this bad? I'm a little surprised because whenever you have a coach like Greg Popovich, I mean, you expect them to do a lot better, no matter who you throw in there. You could throw a bunch of skeletons, and Greg will have them, playing to their best of their ability. But it's only an indictment to what LeBron has done to the West. See, the reason that the West is in shambles and you got bum teams like the Clippers on the top is because everybody's scrambling, man. This is the Western Conference is scrambling since LeBron got here, and you can see the LeBron effect on the West. You got teams that aren't supposed to be at the top, and teams that aren't supposed to be at the bottom. Hey, Shanara, how you doing? She said, "It is fun to talk about trades. B.I. Kuzma, Lonzo, good defensive players. None of these players should be traded. Not every player wants to play with LeBron." That's true, Shanara. That's true. Not every player does want to play with LeBron. However, what KD said to me is ludicrous because LeBron is one of the most unselfish superstars in the NBA. And I get it. You might be a little bit overshadowed, but after this season, he only has 3 years left on his contract. If the trade-off is try to compete for a championship for the next 3 years and then take over the Lakers when LeBron retires, I wouldn't have it any other way. That would be perfect for me as a superstar. Personally, if I was KD, I'm 30 years old. I'm trying to compete for as many championships as I possibly can, and then shine right after LeBron leaves. But either way, he's gonna shine. So even if it's not him or Kawhi, somebody's coming. I'm not worried. I believe in Magic and Rob. They proved it to us. They proved it to us this summer. They went out and got the best player in the game, and he's making an impact already. So don't worry about it. Just enjoy the season because I really like what's going on as of late. We've really ascended defensively. If we could just take care of the ball and hit more free throws, we're going to win a lot of these games. Also, the coaching has to be on par. Last couple of things, they've done a little bit of a better job. I'll give them that. But they still got a lot of improvement to go. Golden State lost to the Cavs. Awesome. Now all we have to do is win. That's it. Dan, I believe the Lakers will go all out for AD because Magic said that LeBron is doing too much, and Kobe said we winning a chip. Now, all out, what does that mean? Again, you add AD to LeBron, that's really, really good. That's close to winning, but you still need a third piece and potentially more role players. So you don't want to gut the roster, man, unless you had another backup move up your sleeve. But you don't want to gut the roster, trust me. And then if what you mean by go all out is trade everybody, whatever it takes to get Anthony Davis, that's a no for me. No way. Especially with the way this team continues to improve. LeBron is behind his young core. He continues to say he likes the way they're improving. And everybody's starting to see progress, especially with Kuz. Kuz is starting to average close to 20 points again. So that's huge help for LeBron, as well as Brandon Ingram with his playmaking abilities, closing out games with some clutch mid-range jump shots. And Lonzo defensively aggressive on both ends. This team has no limits, especially because we got a defensive center in JaVale and a good backup center in Tyson. If Michael Beasley could give us what he's been giving us the last couple of games consistently, then we're going to be a force, especially with Rondo coming back soon. So we got a deep team. Dan, we should win tonight. Spurs played yesterday on the road against Utah. But remember, these are trap games because teams like the Spurs are always looking to bounce back versus teams like us. Dan, the Lakers would get a whole lot worse defensively if they traded Zoe. I agree with that, unless we get another defensive point guard, but I agree. Dan, Luke is playing Beasley. Let me see that. Dan, Luke is playing Beasley now, and I'm hoping he stays playing well. Me too, because Beasley can score. If he plays freely, if they allow him to play freely, he can post you up, hit some turnaround jump shots, hit some little hook shots, runners in the lane, and just shoot. That's what he does. I saw him play last year for the Knicks, my second favorite team, and I really like what he did there. So if he can just try to replicate that or similar to that, we're going to be good. He says, so we're not firing Luke for now. It looks like as long as we continue winning, there's going to be a patch. Remember, winning fixes everything. Even if we have a trash coach, winning is going to make him look like a solid, decent coach. Not in my eyes, but in many people's eyes. And I've already had people praising Luke in my Twitter section. I don't even reply to them, honestly, because I'm tired of, going back and forth with the whole Luke Walton conversation. No disrespect. But, Luke Walton fans, they know where I stand with Luke. I'm not a fan, to say the least. So as long as he does his job, I'll stay out of his mentions, whatever. But if he starts messing up again, you better believe I'm going to chew him out. And it doesn't just mean messing up as far as losing to teams we should be winning. Because, yes, that plays a role. But you know what I mean by messing up. Going small versus teams that are bigger and more talented than you in the paint. Bringing in unexperienced players in the fourth quarter, stuff like that. Hey, Dan, did you see Kyle Korver going off for three-point land? Yeah, that's what he could do. Can't defend for lick, but he could definitely shoot. Dan, OKC is getting beat bad by the Nets. Good. A lot of teams are going to start getting exposed. It's about that time of the year where you're going to see the true colors come out. Right now, everybody's in the honeymoon phase, especially the Clippers. Once their true colors come out, you will see them at the bottom of the West. And I think the Thunder are another pretender team, even though they're the number one as far as defensive efficiency. But I think that's all. I think that's all false. I really don't think they're that great defensively. Their best defender is Steven Adams. So we'll see. Maybe I'm hating because of OKC's trash talk. I don't know. But we'll see, man. Stay the course, Dan, and we will get the best pieces for the right price. I agree with Mike 100%. Rather Mo Wagner gets minutes than Beasley. I'd rather both. They could both play side by side. Beasley could play the 3. Mo could play the 4. They can interchange. It's all about managing the minutes. What do you think about KD saying teaming with LeBron is toxic? Do you think maybe he's trying to throw us off for the offseason? Nope. I already covered that, man. I pretty much said we can't take nothing KD says serious. I mean, he already proved that when he told OKC that he was going back and he left for the team that beat them. So that whatever KD says to me doesn't matter. He could just seriously turn around and re-sign for all I care. Bottom line is, I'm worried about this season. This summer, I'm sure Magic and Rob got us. Dan, these are games where Luke gets out coached. I'm a bit worried tonight. So am I. Anytime you go up against Pop, you better be worried. Even if we're at home, whatever. But, we definitely gotta make sure that we come out and play our A game and coach it to the best of his ability. Dan, Chris Middleton to catch in free agency, that'd be another good pickup. That'd be a solid pickup. But we'll see. Again, I'm not worried about free agency yet. Let's take care of one step at a time. Right now is building this young core and getting ready for the playoffs. That's what we got to do right now. And position ourselves in the best spot we can do. Now, I think we can get you a top 3 slot. If we can do that, we're in perfect shape because playoff Rondo, and a young, hungry team is a recipe for success. So let's get it, man. TFW, do you realize Luke is just another Tyronn Lue? I mean, some people don't realize it. Luke actually has a lot of stands. It's crazy. Dan, I hate the negative, but I see us losing tonight. I mean, if that's what you see, that's what you see. But you always got to believe in your team, bro. I definitely believe we can get another win. So far, as long as they don't come out lackadaisical and Luke Walton doesn't make those mistakes as far as rotations go, because we know Greg Popovich's rotations are on point every night. So, Dan, any stat predictions for tonight to get the W? I predict LeBron has to drop more than 30 points, and somebody has to help him with at least 20. And as far as defensively, we got to make sure we hold the Spurs under 110. That's my prediction. And if we can do that, we should be a recipe for a win. We have plenty of depth, offensively and defensively. We just got to make sure we show up. Dan, is Mo Wagner and Kevin Love are alike in playing style? I mean, they could both stretch the floor, if that's what you mean. Kevin Love is a crazy good rebounder, and he's a crazy good passer. Mo Wagner seems to have the post game, so they're a little bit different. If Mo Wagner can pattern his game after Nikolai Mirotic, I think we got ourselves a hell of a baller. Now, I know that the comparisons are Dirk Nowitzki, but that's a little too high in my opinion for a player like Mo, as much as I like him. But you never know. Some of these players surprise, and the sky's the limit for any young player with untapped potential. But all I see is, like I said, I'm shooting lower for Mo simply because he's been injured right now. But maybe once he starts showing us a little bit more, then we'll start comparing him to other players. But for now, if he could just do what Mirotic does for the Pelicans, that'd be a perfect stretch 4 or 5 for us. That'd be perfect coming off the bench. I would like to see Svi get some minutes. He can be our Korver. Again, high expectations. Korver is a knockdown known shooter. Now, I have no doubt that Svi could actually have potential to be a similar type player. But let's ground our expectations for those draft picks for now till they start showing us a little bit more. Once they do, then I'll be happy to make all kinds of comparisons. I go wild with the comparisons. Dan, tonight you have to put on the jacket on, even if you put it on halfway. Again, I'll have it on the voting in the comment section. If you guys vote it on, then I'll put it on. If you guys think that we should be able to get the win and save it for another night, then I'll do that as well. So it'll be in the voting section as soon as this video is done streaming. Dan, did you hear Charles Barkley making fun of Lonzo by saying Lonzo averaged a triple single? Yeah, I did. And again, Charles Barkley is just a clown, man. He's hilarious, honestly. I don't take anything he says serious. Basketball-wise, I mean, he was a great player. Analyst, he's always wrong, so it doesn't matter what he says. OKC is a serious threat. We'll see come January. For now, they're all right. Yeah, they're up there defensively, but I don't trust Paul George. I don't trust Steven Adams offensively. Defensively, sure. And Russell Westbrook, man, we already know he's a stat batting beast, but does that translate to wins? We'll see. Dan, you were 100% right when you said V should play early and get in rhythm, but Luke kind of just throws him in there randomly with no plays drawn up. And yeah, again, that's a lack of coaching intellect by our head coach. That's where he needs to improve a lot. So hopefully he continues to improve, because you can't just throw a rookie out there in the fourth quarter and expect him to produce. I mean, yeah, some rookies can do that, the real special ones, but some are late bloomers and some just need to get their feet wet first. So I agree. Dan, I'm calling it will go on a 10-game winning streak. Chris Jones, I sure as heck hope you're right, because if that happens, we're going to lock down that #1 spot. And the West, if you go on a 10-game winning streak, it's a wrap. Because, again, every other team is losing every other night. So, all right, a couple more questions. If Ariza is available, can we trade KCP straight up for him? The salaries wouldn't match. I'm not sure what Ariza gets paid, but I'm sure it's not $18 million. Hi, Dan. I'm a big fan, but why do you keep looking to your right? Because that's where the comment section is, buddy. That's where the comment section is right here. The camera's right there. My bad. Sorry about that. I should answer the questions here, but I always try to multitask. So, but thanks, man. I appreciate your support, Brian. All right, one more question. He said, Dan, Luke has coached his team to 14-9. If players made their free throws and players were consistent, we'd be 16-7. I don't think rotation lineup mistakes deserve a firing if we're winning. We're winning because LeBron and the young core continues to improve, as well as JaVale McGee having a breakout season. To me, that has nothing to do with the head coach. And yes, rotations to me do matter and all that stuff. I mean, that has ended really bad for Luke. I mean, we had the comment section flooded with fire Luke, and that's not just randomly. So, it's for a reason. Lakers Girl 2019. Hey, what's up? She said, what up, Dan? I had to deactivate my Twitter account. OKC fans got me hot. I feel you. I feel you, girl. I'll tell you. I don't really get into it with heated debates with a fan base. If they want to come and say something, they can come on the channel and we can just smack them off. Yeah, Brian, again, same reason. I look to the right because I'm reading comments, man. Dan, I believe we're going to finish ahead of the Warriors. I just don't think they're good this year. You know what it is? I'll tell you what. Chemistry matters. We've seen it time and time again with teams. Once that chemistry gets destroyed, and it did by Draymond Green blurting out ridiculous stuff to KD, once that happens, they're not playing for each other. They're playing based off of talent. They're winning based off of talent because Curry goes off or KD goes off. But to really win in this league, you have to play for the team. You got to put the team first. You got to forget about the stats. And to me, all that went out the window once Draymond really opened up about KD leaving. So that's the reason they're not going to win the championship in my book, unless everybody else in the West lays an egg. But I think somebody's going to rise, and they're going to surprise the Warriors. And I pray to God that it's my Lakers. I hope. If that happens, that would be amazing. But either way, guys, it's a win-win. As long as we don't see Golden State raising the trophy again, or Boston, those are the two teams I never want to see raise the trophy. I would mention the Clippers, but they're irrelevant, So pretty much, yeah, those are the two teams that I always say, as long as they're not raising the trophy, it's a win for the NBA. So, Dan, thoughts on trading for Walker? I assume you mean Kemba Walker. Well, no, I say no. I say no because it'll take away from I don't know. I don't think he's worth whatever the asking price is. I know he's having a great season this year, and he would be an upgrade offensively to Lonzo. But what are they going to want? Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball in a draft pick? Nah, that's too much. So unless it was something cheap and they were just trying to get rid of him, nah, I say no. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for tuning into the live stream. Let's catch this game. I'm going to get set up. I got to go to the store real quick, do some stuff. But I will be back for the post game. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's get this win. Please, Luke Walton, don't go small on Greg Popovich. You got plenty of players down there that can punish you. And hopefully we get this dub. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the questions and all. I'll catch you guys post game. Peace out.